And I yield my.
Okay. Thank you, Joe, for hosting the 920 discussion group. And we're getting ready now to start our meeting. So, Carl, would you kindly put up the slides? And I see we have our guest speaker with us sitting in. Shauna, welcome.
Okay, I'm still trying to get things going here. Okay, share screen.
Hey. Very good. Thanks, Carl. We'll start off with our pledge. I see we've got 44 people. So we're building up our attendance with our first full meeting of the year. And we'll start off with the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay. I pledge
allegiance to the flag
of
the United States of America
and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And let's, again, as we have done prior, a moment of reflection and prayer for the end of this pandemic. And I think what we'll have to do now is add again for peace and good relations within the country, so that we can continue both on a safe and healthy road. Okay. All right. Thank you. Our summer did not proceed without some unfortunate people passing away, and we'll bring up on the screen, and I'm not going to read everything. You can always go back to the video and get more information. The first was Lester Charlack, who passed away at 91, and James Bailey, a relatively new member, was Jack Austin's brother-in-law. Darrell Crute passed away during the summer. And Jim McKeon passed away. Jim ended up with a mini stroke and was home, attended a number of our meetings, and then went back into the hospital. And unfortunately, Jim was always good for a little bit of humor. And next one. And then just recently, a couple of weeks ago, we lost Steve Rigo. And so that was our summer. We had some birthdays, and we had a number of people reaching that magic age of 90 in July and in August, and now September. And we want to recognize on July Murray Weingrad, and in August Mort Johnson hit the magic number of 100. So they joined Stan and a couple of other people in that 100 club. So if I'm not going to lead the singing, is there any songster present? But let's all, you know, wish everybody a happy birthday and try to sing along. Happy
Birthday
birthday
to
to
you.
you.
Happy
Happy
birthday to you. Happy
Happy
birthday, dear
birthday,
fellow.
fellows.
Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday
to
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 you.
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 Thank you.
That was brutal.
Yeah. You know, I was a kid in school that they made. I could only lip the songs. They wouldn't let me utter any sounds because I would take down. There were 40 kids in a class in those days, and believe it or not, I got blamed for destroying the class singing. So I had to just lip sync. That was traumatic. Okay,
Still talking.
25, yeah, 25-year anniversaries, Dave Shariga and Tommy Sullivan, and 20 years membership, Jim McKenzie, and somehow, some way, someday, Carl will present you with your anniversary pins. So thank you for being a member for all those years, guys. Okay, so welcome back. We're increasing, we're up to 48. For those of you who didn't attend our summer meetings, which went quite well. I think we had varied subjects, we had varied themes, and it was just nice getting together for the hour and being able to see each other virtually. And in some cases, you know, we had some good series, you know, good animated discussions, and it was good. I think everybody that was there came back. We had what, Steve, generally around 30 to 35 people.
Like 40.
Yeah. Yeah, we had at least 30 people on an average.
Yeah, so it was it was good. So again, welcome back, and we're getting up there. We got 50 people back. We were hitting 65 to 70. So let's see if we can get those numbers up again.
I think some people turned in late just to avoid the birthday song.
They didn't. They were smart. And okay, so we're gonna have a board meeting, you know, and try to make some sense out of the issues and the situation that we're in. We're, you know, going to discuss dues moving forward 2020 and for new members, and look at 2021, because we'll be starting to collect dues in October, as we typically do. Try and put some sense into activities, maybe come up with some innovative ideas for activities, maybe hold a mask 6 foot apart protest march somewhere or for some reason, support senior people or something like that. We'll do something to get together somehow. And, you know, some of the activities that we have planned, the golf outing and the tennis outing that are coming up. And it's difficult at this point. The financial report is easy, but the projection through the end of this year and next year without knowing how we stand for meetings and activities. So we're going to try and put our heads together and give some direction to the club, see where we're at. And then try and contact maybe Bill. I think you're here. If you can talk to somebody at the church and see if they have any thoughts, at least what their thoughts are moving ahead, if anything they've come up with. So at least we
Well,
have
this
some
this
thoughts.
Sunday is the first time they're
Sorry?
going to hold an outdoor service in the parking lot. But to keep the numbers within the space available, people have to sign up in advance. But this means they are starting to make progress.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, we'll bring that up, at our meeting, at the board meeting, so we can see
Okay.
what the latest thinking of. Then we have the, although we didn't have much going on, except for the first couple of months, recognize anybody that's done anything over and above and beyond the Call of Duty with the Volunteer Recognition Awards. Whether we have one this year or not, and how we would present it. And then, of course, I guess in October, we have our officers to be nominated, so we have to set something up. Bob Loop, are you with us today?
I am.
Yes.
I'm here. Yeah.
Okay, I guess as immediate past president, it'll fall upon you to get a committee together and set up for the nominations, which have to be done in October, and where we typically vote in November. And so if you would pull that together and let us know who your committee is next week, or any discussions next week.
Well, we'll talk about it next week. I'm not going to have a committee together by next week, probably, but we could talk about it next week.
Yeah. I mean, we're not going to talk about it today. I just
Okay.
forewarning you so you don't get blindsided next week.
No, I saw it on the agenda, so that's fine. I knew it was coming.
Okay. Thank you, guys. And if anybody has any thoughts or any questions that they would want us to discuss, please don't hesitate to contact, send me an email or even a phone call, and we'll bring it up at the board meeting. Thank you. Okay, today our speaker is Shauna Turner, and Shauna is with us right now listening in. So welcome, Shauna.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Looking forward to hearing you speak. And some of us are not going to invite our wives because they don't think that we're too tough to toss, and we might be the first group being tossed out. So, but yeah, yell down to your wives, significant others, that might be something they might want to sit in and listen to. Certainly, I think they're the ones that make it tough to toss things out.
Sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah. So we're looking forward to hearing watching Shauna's presentation at 11 o'clock. Next week, in lieu of the picnic, where we limited his honor to 25 minutes of talking, we're going to have the pleasure of having him for a full 45 minutes. He's agreed to come on Zoom and be our principal speaker. And so again, invite your friends and prospective members. Would like to get a good turnout because there's a lot that's been happening in the city, and his handling of the pandemic situation, keeping us advised as best he can under the circumstances. Things evolve daily, pretty much. So it should be interesting. We're going to set some ground rules for that, and we're going to listen only. And if you look at, if everybody opens up the screen for participants, and down at the bottom, I don't have it, but there's a raise hand that's how we're going to address. Your hand raise comes on a first come, first served basis, first in, first out, and we'll be able to have some order in the questions, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of questions. So send Steve your friend's email address so he can send an invite. However, you can Steve, they can forward the email that you send to the members. They can forward that to any friends themselves, and they can use that link in, right?
Yes, they can.
Yeah. So now it says they can join anytime.
There's also a link on our website, the homepage of the website.
Yeah. So I'm sorry, I would just reiterate our program starts at 10:45. I was thinking of the old, in-person thing. So when I mentioned to Shauna earlier, so yeah, the speaker presenter session starts at 10:45. Okay, thanks. In September, we got Kevin Gutzman, professor of history at WestCon, and he will be talking about Thomas Jefferson. And in time for the playoffs, Granville Burgess, who was going to speak to us last spring at the start of the baseball season, he's going to start us off with the playoff season about shoeless Joe Jackson and the Black Sox scandal. And then Dr. Robert Shapiro, Carl's brother, will be talking about the arithmetic of the 2020 presidential election. That should be interesting. The minutes of our, okay, Ira, go ahead.
I trust that, nice to see everybody back who wasn't here during the summer. I trust that everybody has received the minutes all summer of the informal meetings. And also, we never approved the minutes of the June 25th meeting, which was the last regular meeting. So I'm going to, if there are no additions or corrections, I'm going to ask our acting president, Joe, to cast one vote for everybody to approve all the minutes.
Sounds like a plan. Let's do it.
Thank you.
Okay, Larry.
Future discussion groups. Next week, Bob Bucky will talk about technology. I do have to get a confirmation from Bob, who I guess has finished his honeymoon. Bob, if you're on, congratulations. September 24th, Joe will be back talking about investments. October 1st, Lori Price will talk to us about finance. Joe Mattel, I need you to just reconfirm with Lori on that. That'll be at 9:20. October 8th, Art Feldman Art will let us know what it will be. The subject, October 15th, Bob Buckey comes back. And October 22nd, Joe D on current events, which will be probably a week and a half before the election. So that should be a interesting discussion. Next slide, please. Monday, October 5th, the fall golf outing. Brian or Howie, you want to speak to it?
All right, I'll start and Howie can follow up. The golf outing is, as you know, October 5th. So far, we have 26 people that are committed to play. It's a rare opportunity to play golf at Sterling Farms without having to get up at 5 a.m. to make a reservation. So I encourage you all to participate. There are a few people that have committed that haven't paid, and we would really ask that you please pay so we don't have to track you down and do all that stuff. But we're looking forward to a very good day.
Please make your checks out to SMAS. Mail them to Brian McDermott, 163 Turner Road, Stamford, Connecticut, 06905. Now, I'm going to read the winners now. Oh, wait, we have to wait a little bit. Thank you. Come join us. Even if you're a lousy golfer, you're good company. That's all that counts. Give you a day out with people that you know are safe because we take care of each other. All right? Thank you.
I will say that I was on the course with Howie yesterday, and he was practicing the closest to the line on the 9th hole, which he had
9 inches.
He was trying to put that into his computer for for October 5th. Next slide, please. The tennis, I spoke to Larry Berger before he went on vacation this week. He's away. He said they need more players, otherwise this event is going to be canceled. So if anybody can reach out, or if you see yourself in this picture, get back to Larry or Joe. Joe, do you want to speak to this? I see you're on.
Well, I don't think I have anything more to add to that. We have, I believe, 10 or 12 people, and I think our minimum is going to be 16 or 20. So if you plan to play, please contact one of us.
Can I ask a question, Joe? The minimum is based on what? The tennis courts requirements or our own?
It's pretty much our own.
Can we?
But yeah, has to be a multiple of 4.
If it's our own, you know, what we did before, can we become a little creative? And I know that the 12 people that you have probably all are looking forward to playing, and maybe come up with a creative motif and still go on with the activity?
Well, I'll talk to Larry and see how he feels about that.
Yeah, let's not, you know, try and restrict it because, you know, we can't do it. Maybe we can, you know, come up with some other idea, like most tournaments or get-togethers. They're able to modify or have modified rules for however many play.
Okay.
Let's try and keep it going. Oh, Larry, you're there.
Yeah, we could probably get away with 12, but when I spoke to Larry, I think he only said there were 9 so far signed up, unless you know more.
Can you hear me, Howie?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Larry Berger's on the line.
Oh, are you here,
No.
Larry?
We only have 9 players as of today.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So we need at least 12. 12 would work. So see if you can recruit 3, or even if you have to go outside a little bit, not too, you know, people at the skill level of most of the players wouldn't mind. Okay.
All right. Yeah. Carl, you're on.
Okay, the Stu is promoting the meetings next week where the mayor is speaking as a mini membership drive. We realize we can't do it in person like we're used to, but we think to having the mayor as the headliner for the meeting might draw some additional interest. So he's hoping that everybody makes an extra effort to invite friends to listen to the meeting and perhaps become interested. As you, I think we announced before that the board has suspended 2020 dues for any new members who join during the remainder of the year. So it's a free opportunity to get introduced to at least the Zoom version of SMAS. Thank you.
Next slide, Carl.
I have Carl Rosen, who joined in May, has agreed to give his short bio this morning. So I welcome Carl, and thanks for agreeing to do your presentation.
Thank you, Carl. And thank you for the opportunity. And sorry, Carl, that you may not be the only Carl on the call. So if somebody says Carl this or that, may cause some confusion. I'll follow your outline. I was born in Providence, Rhode Island, where I grew up, which is why I'm a lifelong Red Sox fan, which is not a good place to be this year. I went to Tufts University. I have a degree there in civil engineering, followed by an MBA from the Wharton School of the University of Pennsylvania. I graduated in 1977 when I took a job in Rowayton, Connecticut, which is why I moved to this area. Within a week of graduation, I also got married to my wife, Arlene, and we have 2 children who were born here and raised in the Stamford public schools. One is in New York City, has 2 children, and my daughter is in the Boston area. She also has 2 children. So I started at Continental Can in Rowayton, Connecticut. After 3 years, I joined Lowe's Corporation, L-O-E-W-S, conglomerate. And there I had several roles. I was the chief information officer in charge of technology for the company. But I spent most of my career at their division, Bulova. I was there for 30 years. I was the chief operating officer, and I served as the president of their Swiss subsidiary. I retired in 2010 after 30 years there, and I started my own consulting company, focusing on luxury goods, mostly watches. And my most interesting gig is I am currently Bulova's historian. About 4 years ago, they asked me to start an archive, which they didn't have a company history or anything. So the archive now consists of about 2,000 physical items and about 5,000 digital. And I opened a museum for them in the Empire State Building in their corporate offices last year. So that's been sort of a fun gig. The other interesting thing I've done, I listened to Alan Coulter a few weeks ago when he gave his bio, and he has a great TV career. For Bulova, I was on television 20 times. I did 21-hour live shows for various home shopping networks. So that was very interesting thing to do. If you saw the movie Joy, that was sort of my life for a while. And I also appeared on the History Channel. And next week, I should be appearing on Instagram TV in Brazil, talking about the Bulova Museum. From a hobby standpoint, I'm a very avid tennis player. And I got to the Stanford Men's Association through Larry Holtzman. I played tennis with him for a number of years, and I play on several teams on the Long Ridge Club with Larry. I've also become an avid golf player. So if anybody wants to play, I'm available. I love music. I wouldn't say necessarily I'm a musician, but I do play the bassoon. I currently still take lessons from an 86-year-old teacher in Old Greenwich. And I perform once a month in the non-COVID times, so I try to keep up with my music. I also love to travel. You can see in my background, this is a picture I took at Lake Como. I've been, because I was in charge of Bulova's international business, I had the opportunity to travel around the world and see a lot of interesting places and meet a lot of interesting people. From a volunteer perspective, I've been very active, especially in the Stamford community. I continue to be active at Temple Sinai. I have been a past president of Temple Sinai, as my wife Arlene has also been. I've served on the executive committee for a number of years for Shoki Jewish Family Service, and I'm still a board member for that organization. I am also still active with the Wharton School. I'm the vice president of the Wharton Club of New York in charge of career development. Wharton has 30,000 alumni in the New York area, and we put on about 200 events a year. So last year I put on 14 related to career development, how to people to enhance their career, deal with workplace issues, get on corporate boards, different things related to that. And also I still have my ties to Tufts University, where I've been on the alumni council for probably 35 plus years. So thank you for the opportunity for sharing. I'd like to learn more about you guys when we physically get together. And Larry, thank you for the introduction to the organization.
You're quite welcome, Carl. It's been my honor.
Carl, great presentation. And when would you like to be a presenter with, we've got the openings every Thursday from the 29th of October on. So
okay. we can talk. I like to talk, and I've got a number of things to talk about. So we'll follow up.
yeah, please do. You have my email. It's put on every meeting notice. So please get in touch with me. We have a number of weeks to fill till the end of the year, and I think that sounds very interesting. Okay. Bill.
Hi, everybody. Does anyone have any news to share about members? This is a great picture of Bob Budke. He explained that it was a very windy day on the Thimble Islands when he got married at the end of August. And we wish him mazel tov and good wishes and all the best. Does anybody have anything else to add? Any other news? Good and also sad.
Well, good news. For the last better part of a year and a half, my wife is finally coming around and not having to see weekly doctors. She's got a month off from seeing doctors and treatments and whatnot. So she's coming back slowly but steadily, and the prognosis is great. So thanks for everybody's thoughts and prayers and throughout this whole ordeal. So it's been on top of everything else. One added little burp in the road.
Well, that's good news. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Phil. All right, anybody else got anything on good, bad, things happening, kids going back to school? Just a word of caution, you know, we might have gotten a little lax over the summer when families were in a more controlled environment. However, with kids, grandkids going back to school now, I think it's worth taking a step back to the almost phase 1.5, masks and distancing and minimize the hugs and whatnot till we see what happens after a few weeks of them being in school and what the situation is. So a cautionary word on that issue. Dick Harper.
Good morning. This book is fascinating. The story of Ghost Soldiers is a
really extremely exciting rescue of a number of POWs in the Philippines in early 1945 by a group, as you can see in this picture, of so-called ghost soldiers. They somehow snuck into a part of the Philippines where the Japanese were still occupying the territory and went into a POW prison and released hundreds of soldiers. So it's fascinating. We'll be talking about it, as you see, on the 13th at 1:30. 16th.
Thank you, Dave. All right. We still got about 10 minutes. Any items for discussion or
Yes,
any
I do.
Jokes?
I do, Joe.
Okay, again.
Alan Sosnowitz, I have something.
Go ahead, Alan.
At 5:30 tonight at Sherwood Island in Westport is the 19th anniversary of the 9/11 ceremony. A lot of politicians will be there, and of course, Donna and I will be there as well. Everybody's welcome. That's it. It's at Sherwood Island in Westport.
Okay.
State Park.
That's for your announcement. Any little bit of humor there?
Yes, I do have one for you.
Okay.
A baseball scout is at a college game, and he sees a pitcher who's pitching an absolute no-hitter, striking out everybody. Not a single person had a ground out, just everybody's striking out. And so he calls it in to the coach of the team, the major league team, and he tells him about this pitcher who's terrific. He said, so nobody hit anything. He said, one kid hit a foul ball. He said, so should I bring the pitcher in? And the coach says, no, bring the kid who hit the foul ball. We don't need pitchers, we need hitters.
That sounds like the Yankees. I heard one the other day, a cop out in Midwest somewhere pulls this very elderly octogenarian lady over for speeding. And he says, can I see your license and registration and insurance papers? And surely she takes them out of her purse and hands it to him. But mixed in with the papers is her concealed carry permit. And he looked and you have a concealed carry permit? And she answered, yes, I do. And, he was a little skeptical. And he said, well, do you have any weapons on you? She says, well, I have a Colt 45 in my glove compartment. So, she takes it out and shows it to him. And he says, looking at her, something just wasn't right. And he says, do you have any other weapons? And she says, well, I have a 9mm Glock in my center console. And he shows him. And again, her response was, made him think. And he says, do you have any others? And she says, yeah, I have a .38 Detective Special in my purse. And he says to her, she says, ma'am, what are you afraid of? She says, not a damn thing.
Okay, I've got one. Let's see if I can get it straight. I heard it on the radio this morning. Said that I've been very busy during this COVID period, and I've been writing puns. And I submitted 10 puns to a contest to see if any would win. But no pun intended.
I have something with compliments to Alan Jaffe. My daughter works for the Harvard Business Review, and so you'll understand the tie-in between Alan Jaffe's jokes and this. So, a verb walks into a bar, sees a beautiful noun, and suggests they conjugate. The noun declines. A misplaced modifier walks into a bar owned by a man with a glass eye named Ralph. You got to know your grammar for these. A question mark walks into a bar. A bar was walked into by the passive voice. All right, that's enough. I got them actually.
I got one in honor of baseball season. It's spring training, and a horse shows up at spring training. And the manager goes, "What the heck are you doing here?" And the owner says, "Oh no, you got to see this horse. It can really hit." So the manager goes, "You're crazy." He goes, "No, no, no. Throw him a few pitches." So they throw him a few pitches. The horse hits the ball 400 feet, 400 feet, 400 feet. Manager goes, "Let me bring my star pitcher in." Star pitcher comes in. The horse hits the ball 400 feet, 400 feet, 400 feet, goes to all fields, smacks everything. And the manager goes, "That's great. Now just bunt one and run to first." And the horse says, "If I could run, you think I'd be playing baseball?"
That's true.
Okay. All right.
Bring on the speaker.
With that, hopefully that the jokes are going to get better.